Good morning.
All
Good
right,
morning.
Good morning. I am
Fantastic morning.
fired up this morning. I didn't wake up that way, but
Hey,
I've kind of arrived
got
that
monster
way.
energy.
That might be helping a little
That might
bit.
have a little bit to do with it, y'all. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the morning blend.
Whoop, whoop.
Cameron, checking in with her. I almost wore my T-shirt this morning.
Oh my gosh.
I really did.
twinned.
We could have been. And then I thought, I had them both on the ironing board, and I thought, do I want to go summery or do I want to go blue? And I decided to go summery.
I like
but
the summary, though.
I was in such the Happy Monday vibes. So,
Happy Monday.
You channeled my spirit,
I was
Cameron.
needing it, too. I was needing Happy Monday vibes. And this shirt encapsulates it. I hope
It
one day we
does.
can, get more versions of this shirt for
Yes.
everyone because it just helps so much.
Yeah, we need to do something. We need to work out something where we have the Morning Blend logo on it.
That would be
Incorporated.
cool.
That'll be the next thing.
Yeah.
It'd be
I'm
cool to
excited.
actually be able to give people Morning Blend T-shirts who are actually our guests on
There
the
you go.
show.
Yeah, like
That would
a
be so
little
freaking
Season two.
prize.
Yeah.
Season 2 things might be
That's
coming
it.
up because y'all we are doing
sponsors
seasons.
are welcome.
Yes,
Yes.
any sponsor. Well, not any sponsor, but most sponsors we
Yeah.
will take.
Hey.
Monster Energy, for
Hey,
instance.
we'll entertain anyone. We may not decide that way, but hey, we'll entertain anyone.
Absolutely.
Yay! So it is Monday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Graduation has happened, and so we're entering a new phase. But before we get off into all of that, I'm curious about something.
Y'all, so she
So
has kept
this morning, they
question
have
a
no
secret.
idea
No clue.
about the morning question.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so this is kind of one of those. It's a gender thing, the male female thing.
Why do
So
I feel like I'm
it's
being ganged
great.
up on?
It's great that we have Ryan here, to give a male's perspective.
Yeah.
And you
Opinions.
all who are in the chat, please,
Wait,
please chime in.
Ryan's
Yep.
opinion is not indicative of all men. Just saying, right?
Hey,
Just
ours
disclaimer.
is not indicative of all females, but I really want to know this because my husband and I have discussions around gender-related topics like all the time. And this situation happened recently, and it was a whole thing, y'all. It was a whole thing.
The whole thing.
And so I'm wondering what everyone else's perspective
Whenever
is
somebody
on
leads
this.
into something and it takes them a really long time to say what they have to say, this is going to be.
beating around the bush a little bit.
So here we go. In your opinion, Ryan and Cameron and our audience, in your opinion, when women dress to go out, anywhere, just to go out,
I can't answer this question already. I already know I can't answer this question.
do they dress to please themselves? Do they dress to appease other women? Or do they dress to please their partner?
I'm off the hot seat because I'm going to say that I'm going to answer that question real quick. It's for themselves and for themselves only. Thank you. I'm out of this conversation. I have been trained
He
and
said,
scolded and all
"Period,
kinds of stuff. I know this
done."
answer. I'm done.
He's like, y'all aren't trapping me this morning. Y'all aren't
That
getting
is
me.
hilarious. Audience, chime in the chat and tell us what you think.
I'm
Cameron.
really curious what everyone thinks on this, but I think it depends what the goal of the night is.
It could be of the day. It could be coming to work.
Okay, so just dressing in
Just
general.
dressing in general.
I think is this what women do or what women should do?
No, it's what women do. What are women's motivations?
Women's motivations.
See,
well,
I like that analysis. But, let's pick apart that question a little bit.
right. I just want to make sure I was coming correct. So I think for me personally, as a woman, I mostly, whenever I was single, I would dress more to attract men or, to, kind of be more, I guess, desirable as a wife or, someone to date. But whenever I started, I was in a serious relationship and I'm about to get married, so in case
There
people
we
don't
go.
know.
There we go, Ryan.
Wow,
There
there's
we
the
go.
ring again.
Woo! Transition.
I find myself dressing more in ways that I like and that I think are more stylish and more I might be a little more experimental with my fashion. and dress more for me or for other women to be like, oh girl, that's so cute, you know, because I'm like, I already got a man, like I don't really, you know, he thinks I'm beautiful no matter what. So I think that's where I come from on that question. So I guess overall, I think mostly for themselves, how they think they would look the prettiest or the most, you know, like, I don't know, desirable, I guess.
I am so glad you said that about Jake. And what you just said right there, how often do men have to, like, bend over backwards to try to let their ladies know, like, we love you just the way you are. We just.
But now I'm getting ready to pick apart because.
I mean, like, I'm glad you said it though. Like, I'm glad you said.
Here we go. But
usually that's met with an eye roll, like, okay, whatever.
Right,
you know? But,
right.
I mean, that's true. That is so true.
Why is it
I'm
that
glad.
men feel like they get in trouble when women ask, "How do I look in this?"
Well, there's only
Because
one right
going
answer.
back to the.
That is correct.
But
There is only one
now,
right
I'm gonna
answer.
tell you, my husband will contest that all day long. He's like, that's not right because men don't have the freedom to say what they really think because you're really not asking me because you really want to hear my opinion. You just want me to say everything looks good.
And so what? So
and
what
if-
if that's true? Maybe we need a
And
little
so-
boost, you know, and you're my man, so that's what you're supposed to do.
Tell him.
Okay.
Tell him.
know.
All right. What men? I am wanting to hear
Yeah,
your opinion in this
I'm
because
curious.
I'm telling you, I have changed that because I honor his perspective because I realize he does have a perspective. Some of his perspectives I may not agree with. He does not like red lipstick. He just
Really?
does not. No, his thing is he likes the gloss. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
he really does like gloss rather than like a true
Like a matte.
like a true color.
Yeah.
Can I
Yeah,
ask a
on
question?
lipstick. Yeah.
When did he start voicing his opinion about that?
Honey, from the beginning.
He's a brave,
I
that
mean,
is a brave
from the
man.
beginning,
That
he
a
is
brave man.
his own guy. Believe me, I mean, he is his own guy, and we struggle and battle it out. You know, there are things that I may buy clothes wise that he really does not like, and
Yeah.
he will say, "I'm not really a fan of that," and I say, "Okay, noted," and so I may not wear it around him.
But
you know, if
save
we're
it for
going
yourself
out
for like a girls' night or
but I
something.
will wear it because I bought it because I like it.
Thank you. Your opinion.
And so
Yeah.
and
Counts the
so
most.
for me, I think that I have to face this reality. If I know that he does not like a specific thing, I'm not going to force him in a box to expect his approval. I mean, that's my reality.
Right.
I already know he doesn't like it. So I'm not going to place my feelings or my emotions on his approval of it because I'm not going to get it because I know that's not really how he feels about it. Now, to that same token, it never fails. Whenever we are going on vacation and he's really big about, let's coordinate our stuff. What are you packing? What are you wearing? What type of stuff are you wearing for this? And then, I mean, he always asks, hey, does this look okay? And I have the freedom to say, nah, I really don't like that. And y'all, I mean, we have this double standards conversation like rarely, you know. I could have all the rights to tell him how I feel, but he can't tell me how he feels. And of
Thank you.
course,
Right,
you
right,
know,
right, right.
the weight thing is really one of those, you know, it's like, that
Very.
is so unfair. Men
Yeah.
ought to be able to say it without y'all falling apart and then just taking it on and making it all, you know, like, oh my God, my life is over. And he just is so dramatic when he's saying this stuff. And I'm like, oh, I want to be so mad at him right now. But really, he is truth. That's fact. That's fact. And I have to deal with the fact of it.
Yeah.
But he really does solicit how I feel about his stuff too, and I know that I have the freedom to say it. And he may say, "Oh man, I really like that shirt," and I'm like, I get it, because there's stuff I like in my closet too that you don't like, and I just try not to wear it. Like when we're seriously like on an outing together,
Right.
you know, I may wear it elsewhere, but you know, if we're like stepping out together, I'm not gonna wear it because I know that you don't like it.
Yeah, and that makes sense, like the kind of dynamic you're talking about, because I can tell, you know, there are some things that I wear or like a style of my hair that I can tell Jake likes better, like that he likes more than, say, you know, another outfit. And so I do kind of note that, but the way that is expressed is just a little, I guess, like, it's kind to me because he just says, "Oh, I like this." It's like positive reinforcement. It's like, "Oh, he'll give me like an extra compliment if I'm wearing an outfit that he likes." But if I'm wearing something like maybe he doesn't like it, I'm not gonna know because he's not gonna tell me because he knows I'll just be wearing something different the next day. But if we're going on a date night, I'll just wear something that I know he's really gonna like. So it's kind of the same thing. But Jake and I just don't talk about it. And I think it just depends about like who you are of like, because nothing like that really bothers Jake because he's just not a detail person, but if, your husband is a detail person, that makes sense for him to be, more invested in what you're wearing. So it just depends who you are. And I think it's fine, like if like to talk about each other's looks and everything, especially when it comes to health. You mentioned the weight thing. It's like I come from more of a direction of like we need to eat healthy because it's better for us, not necessarily because we'll look a certain way when we're eating healthy.
And I think as we're getting older, that conversation is more. We have it probably more regularly because of longevity, positioning ourselves to be around. There are things, we're making plans,
right?
And we want one another there for these plans,
right?
So
that would be nice.
it's important that we take care of ourselves. So so that's a lot of our conversation is being healthy, and part of that is losing weight. I'm telling you, everything, seriously, even for himself, he's like, oh, I got this bump. Man, I need to exercise and eat better. That's like everything. I want to tell everything does not go. Everything does not go back.
It's not like
to exercise and eating better. He's like, I've been eating too many sweets. Look at this. Look at that. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I'm kind of like that though because Jake hates this so much. But he, whenever he has a headache or something, I'm like, did you drink any water today?
Yeah.
How much water did you drink today? And it drives him nuts because he just like wants to have a headache and me to be like, oh, I'm sorry, sugar, that sucks, But he's like, no, like I'm like, well, have you drank water? Like you need to stay hydrated. So
water
I
is
nag him
important.
like that.
Facts.
Water is important. But anyways, I was interested in you all's perspective on that because it's interesting how different couples navigate those waters.
And I'm interested in hearing after we've kind of discussed the question more. So I'm wondering if you feel more comfortable speaking on it, Ryan.
Ryan's scared his wife's going to see this podcast,
My
and he's
wife
like, I am
watches the show.
staying in
It's
good
a double
graces.
standard in action. Like, it's kind of ironic.
No,
Hey,
but
look, all my double standards are called out, so I'm having to face them all.
so here's the thing. I'm probably too scared of the answer. I don't think I ask my wife at all, like, hey, how do I look in this? I'm just like,
It is what it is.
She will let me know in certain ways, like how y'all's relationship is. If I'm wearing something that she feels like isn't quite right for me, she'll be like, oh, that's an interesting outfit you have on.
Right.
Or that color coordination. I
just-
would have never thought of that.
You just really gonna put on those orange shoes with that
right.
green
I mean,
shirt, huh?
that's-
That's an
Yeah,
interesting choice.
if there was a problem, And but
That's
yeah,
funny.
the answer. I mean, so here's the truth, y'all. I'm about to get real sappy on y'all. Y'all ready?
Okay.
The real truth is, because I know she's watching. Whatever you put on, love, is perfect.
Aww.
Every time. So there it is. There it is. So
That's
Ryan might be the
Ryan's
wisest of
answer
us
for
all.
the record, and he's sticking to it. That's his story, and he's sticking to it.
I like it. Before we move on, can one of you ask me what I did this weekend?
Oh, please tell us, Cameron. What did you do this weekend?
yeah, Cameron, what'd you do this weekend?
Oh yeah, Cameron had a big weekend.
I did, and I said yes to the dress.
Hey, Cameron.
I would show a picture, but I can't, unfortunately. I've been wanting to show everybody, but I can't. I'm trying to keep it a surprise for all. So, but yeah, it is beautiful, and I had my mom, his mom, and my maid of honor with me. And
Wow.
That is awesome. She
Tried on a
said
bunch of
yes to the
dresses.
dress because Cameron is getting married.
I am.
You hold it up
so-
there just a little bit longer. There you go. All right.
Look how pretty.
And while we're in that vein of Cameron getting married, ladies, July the 25th
Where's
is
that graphic?
her
Oh, yeah, we need a graphic.
lingerie party.
Woo!
It's going to be right here, y'all.
Yes.
Right here in the room.
Be there or be square. All ladies. Men, get out. Yeah. Get out of the building.
Not invited. Not invited.
Not
Gotta go. All right. So what do we have in the news this morning?
Well, let's get on the news.
I heard that there were some outstanding employee awards given out. Is that? I mean, that's one thing I know that's news.
Oh, throw it up there.
Look at
Wow.
that. Look
Who
at
do we
that.
have? All
Are
right.
you kidding?
Outstanding professional staff is Kelsey
So look, let me
Valley.
I'll start us off by saying every person on this list I have had the opportunity, the privilege, the pleasure of working with in one way, shape, or another. Everybody outstanding. I know we have great faculty and staff just because, but I can vouch for each one of these individuals. Kelsey is just absolutely annihilating adult ed in the best ways possible.
Great.
Maya is, I mean, anytime I need something from her,
I know, like this
she's
morning,
always there.
I needed 2 nickels, and I had a dime, and I went in, and she was able to give me 2 nickels for my dime this
Look
morning.
at that. Look at that.
I tell you.
That is just a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful
I'm
thing.
telling you, just always on top of things.
She made my monster possible this
There you
morning.
go. There you go.
Monster brought to you by Maya Romero.
That's
There
right.
we go.
That's right.
Go
and
Maya.
I mean, Misty, she's doing
Oh,
everything,
my
all the things,
goodness.
more than just farm tech, but SGA at the
She
Westbrook
really
campus.
is.
And
She is
she's involved.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she
So
even presented at the BTEC mini
congratulations.
conference. So congratulations.
She did do
She
that.
Yeah, with Nashad James. So
Yeah.
anyway, I wasn't trying to take that over. I just wanted to say I know everybody on this list, and I'm so proud to work with everybody. But please,
Absolutely.
y'all go ahead.
Congratulations to y'all.
Congratulations. I'm
Yeah.
like so thrilled. Like y'all said, like these 3 women have just absolutely knocked it out of the park this past year. They've always been so nice to me since I've worked here too. It's just like the kindness and the outreach that they all have helped. Maya is also, she helps with extra events. She's at Hats and Horses volunteering for that. Missy Moore is always out in the community, and Kelsey just absolutely leads her department with gusto and grace. So I just want to congratulations in the biggest way possible. We're so excited at Convocation to see y'all receive your awards.
Yes.
And I think they were just so deserving of it.
Hey, isn't there something at LCTCS conference too where they get to be recognized?
Yeah, they're recognized.
It's gonna be great.
All of the outstanding
Awesome.
professional support and what was the third one?
Professional
Support
support and
and
outstanding faculty.
Yeah.
Faculty.
Yeah.
And then a distinguished retiree. I
Okay,
guess we
gotcha.
didn't
We
have
didn't have
one.
one?
I guess not.
We've been slacking on that one.
Yeah, we really have the last couple of years.
Hmm.
But all 4 of those categories are also recognized at the LCTCS annual conference. So they get to be
Excellent.
pumped up twice. Woo woo.
I love it. We love to see it over here. Congratulations, y'all. And
Yes.
another congratulations is in order for Miss Deanne Kuiper, who was
Yes.
named interim vice chancellor. So congratulations,
Congratulations.
Miss Deanne.
Another wonderful human being to work with. Deanne, wishing you the best, and we know that you'll take us into the next chapter smoothly. You have the institutional understanding and the historical perspective that is needed, and so I'm very happy that we have somebody internal that is taking the ranks and gonna be able to lead us to wherever we're supposed to be headed to next. Whatever that
Absolutely.
is. We're looking
Wherever
at,
that is.
What is the vision, right? We'll ask that question of you soon
Right.
enough. But yeah.
But
Thanks,
yes.
Deanne. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you, and congratulations.
Yes.
Another congratulations are in order for our chancellors and honors list people. So that was a long list this semester, and
Yes.
I wanted to also. I'm gonna spotlight it, Ryan. If you'll change this out, I saw this morning, and I was like, should I put this on here? But I was like, yeah, I think I am, because I just thought it was so cute. You can switch. Well, I gotta
That's cool.
pull it over, right?
I'm here. Yeah, there it is. I see something.
There we go. So somebody retweeted, or they just tweeted the link out of what the list was, and he said, "I made the chancellor's list."
Oh, that is awesome.
West Carroll Parish, Michael Summerall, congratulations. Just wanted to shout you out.
Yeah, congratulations to Michael and all of the honorees on those two lists. That is awesome. That's
Absolutely.
such a good feeling.
What that's saying
Yes.
is there are people paying attention to the posts, and they will repost and retweet and all those things.
Oh yeah, and we
As
have
well
another
they
example
should.
coming up.
I
too,
mean,
so.
yeah, as well they should. That's a proud moment.
Yes, absolutely. And then another proud moment that we had 2 weeks ago was our spotlight on the OCC and LDCC partnership
Right.
that KNOE covered. Jasmine Marshall, I believe, Jasmine Bingham. She covered this story to help promote the programs in prisons that help inmates, rehabilitate and everything. And this inmate is making, this past inmate, is now a welder making six figures. So
Wow.
I have a short clip that we can play.
Wow, let's
it was
do
on the
it.
news.
Such great news. Don't y'all just
Yes.
love great news?
So excited.
Positive stuff.
Getting a look at a welding program that helps inmates at the Ouachita Correctional Center. It gives them a skill that they can use after prison. Jasmine Bingham reports.
The welding program at OCC is taught by instructors at Louisiana Delta Community College. Since the program started in 2021, officials say they've seen a 90% success rate in inmates getting a certified welding job once they finish the program and leave prison. Inmates are able to apply for financial aid grants for the course after finishing a background screening and meeting behavior and education requirements. After finishing the 18-month course, they receive their credentials.
You'd be surprised how many guys have never even seen a tape measure, yet alone know about welding. So when they come out there and we can teach them and we can introduce this into their life and give them a tool to take with them forever. And we have a welding shop at OCC, and we have our students that we have. It's just the same as being here. We bring students in, we teach them all the way from the core curriculum. We start them out at basic welding skills, and we go all the way through to pipe welding.
I spoke with a graduate from the welding program at OCC, Carlos Robles, who says he now makes six figures. He says he works up to 12 hours a day. Carlos says his instructor, Tim, was training him step by step, giving him tips for the field.
I'm a combo pipe welder, and we work from 10 hours a day to 12 hours, 7 days a week when we're on shutdowns. And as soon as we clock in after our safety meeting, it's hoods down and go to work. As soon as we started going out there, I had it in my mind that this is what I wanted. If I wanted to get out and succeed in life, hey, my family, just knowing that my kids and my wife are struggling day to day without me at home, I wanted to be able to provide.
Carlos says there are plenty welding opportunities in Louisiana for former inmates who are interested. In Monroe, Jasmine Bingham, KNOE 8 News.
That is awesome.
Yes.
Go, yay, LDCC.
Yes, absolutely. And this was also like just a special story to me because I think it was kind of the first big one I had handled on my own while Miss Darian was out of town. And so I was there when Timothy McClelland, yes, she was in the Bahamas having a fantastic time. But Mr. Timothy McClelland was such a trooper. We tracked him down to get interviewed, and he did a fantastic job with Jasmine. And our alumni, too, was just amazing. So it was just awesome to be able to help facilitate that and just see it come to life because I actually watched it live on the news that night for the first time ever. So it was really cool as a PR person.
Look at our baby growing up. Oh, wow. No, Cameron is truly capable, and I'm so proud of everything that she's doing here. Also, so very proud that we're living out our mission. I mean, when you look at that story and you see LDCC's handprints all over it, I mean, that's what we're here for. We're here to help fashion and give people a future.
Absolutely.
And I mean, whatever part they allow us to share with them of their journey to get them to that place of of being able to be independent.
It's an honor.
You know, it is. It is
Such
really
an
an
honor.
honor. So yay.
Yeah, and his story was just amazing to hear, him being able, he felt like he missed a lot while he was, in OCC, but after getting out, he's like, oh, I get to go to my kids' kindergarten graduation and just be there for their sports events and everything, and how much it meant to him, because that was truly the drive behind it. And now, he's making so much to support his family, and just a great, alumni. I hope one day we can spotlight him ourselves, because I was just so proud to see that in action. So,
Yeah.
so awesome.
And we do, Matt, even though he didn't chime in for the question of the day, and I know why, and I understand, he did chime in to say, great story, and work to highlight amazing programs we do and amazing things we do here at LDCC. And he also said, great job, Cameron.
That's so sweet,
Yes.
Matt. Thank you.
Yes, yes,
I was
yes.
just excited to be a part of it. It was just so cool. So that is awesome. So I think for our next news piece, Mysterian has something for us.
Actually, we're going to pivot.
So,
to
right,
Ryan.
so I threw something
Oh.
in your team's chat.
Oh, I did not see it.
It's okay. No, just go ahead and
He just did
Go
it.
ahead and just get to it.
Okay.
I'll talk a little bit while you get to it. So we have very much an effort, a concerted effort, every year to support one particular event that
Yes.
benefits the Chenault Aviation and Military Museum.
Especially because one of the people connected to it is so near and dear to the heart of LDCC.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And his name is Professor Joe Lane.
Yes.
Have had the privilege of working with him for many years. And part of the BTEC mini conference was actually, to draw attention to that race. But if we're wondering, well, how else do they promote this particular event? Well, he was on Louisiana Living, him and his daughter, promoting it as well. And what I was trying to get at, and this is completely unscripted and impromptu, but I was hoping that you could maybe pull up, just not even the whole show or not even the entire clip, but just maybe pause it, a screenshot of the clip, so that we can show it and then draw attention to the race itself. I don't know if you're in a position.
Yeah, let's
to
go
do
ahead.
all
Yep,
Let's play about a minute of it, Cameron. And
Okay. Let me pull it over to the next screen.
that. Okay.
And I have it up. There was an ad playing before.
I
so-
tell you, if you all are interested in participating, reach out to Mr. Joe Lane.
I'll put in the chat. I'll also put the link to the race itself. But
Yeah.
it's a great event. It's a fun time.
And it's a great way for us to partner with Joe's efforts, too.
And not only that, but we have a team.
Yeah.
LDCC team is running or participating, so we get
Awesome.
a plaque or a certificate that says "Thank you, LDCC." Sometimes
Yeah.
a trophy. It just depends. Oh, and you have it pulled up. Fantastic.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my.
Do we have sound?
Not having audio.
No, I know why. Because it's muted on the video itself.
Oh gosh, I
Like
can't.
look at the bottom. I don't know if you can even see it, but.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
Yeah, might want to
Yeah, so
rerun
tell us
the
a little bit
video.
about the Run for the Red, White, and Blue.
Like you said, it's the 12th annual Run for the Red, White, and Blue. It's a 5K, it's a 1K, it's a run, it's a walk. It's a way to start the Memorial Day weekend, and we take that part of it very seriously out at the museum. The museum does so much work for veterans and servicemen and women in our community, as well as field trips with school children. And so what we are doing is a fundraiser for that museum. And it's just a wonderful way to kick off the Memorial Day weekend, because we take it seriously what we are remembering that day as well as having the 5K.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I love the fact that you all said it's a run and a walk for
Yes.
those who may not want to run. But for those who may come out, what can they expect to see this weekend?
Well, they'll see a lot of flags. One of the things that I think people really like, whether they're doing the run or we also have the 1K walk, is the last 300 yards to the finish line. There are 4x6 American flags lining both sides of the road, and they're blowing in the breeze, and it's just an incredibly patriotic time, and that's what we want to make it. We've been so fortunate. We have grown to the largest such event in North Louisiana, and I think part of it's because people love Chenault. And I think part of it is that if you're an elite runner, this is a great run for you. If you haven't done much walking in a while and you just want to come out and try that out, it's a family thing, and it's great for you as well. And as Laura said, you know, we don't forget the fact that this is Memorial Day, and so I just kind of ask people, you know, do something different this Memorial Day. Come out. And honor America, remember those that gave the ultimate sacrifice, and participate with us. It starts at 8 o'clock with the firing of a cannon. It's a real cannon, and it's really loud.
That'll wake you up.
And then the
All right, so you guys got the details about that right here. And Brian, are you part of the team?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm recruiting. So, you know, SOS Joe, that's just something that we do around this time of the year. I think we have at least probably, I would say 8 or 9 people from LDCC that have already signed up to run. But, you know, why not make it 10, 11, 12, 15, 20 that would sign up? It's on May 25th, Memorial Day weekend. I know that most people with the extended weekend sometimes, you know, like to go out of town and enjoy themselves, but it's 8 a.m. So just, you can start your weekend off with the race, feel good about yourself, feel good that you did something.
And then indulge in all of that barbecue. Yeah. You know, speaking of healthy, I've decided that I am going to skip all of the pork ribs, which I so love, and all of the other barbecue stuff. I'm gonna grill tilapia and do that instead. Yeah, because I mean that's
that'll
good
be good.
too.
Yep, it's
That's good, too.
delicious and it's healthier.
Plus, I had ribs this past weekend.
Coming off the cruise, and now you got ribs this weekend.
We were in Dallas this past weekend, and my son was telling us about this place that was like supposed to be like the best, or you know, noted as the best, you know, barbecue place, and I guess in Dallas or whatever. It's a place called Hutchins. Yeah, it was okay, but I did indulge. So you know, Memorial Day, I'm going to be exercising more discipline, and I'm going to stick with grilled tilapia.
Grilled tilapia.
Yeah, but so I like that, and the interviewer said this to Joe too and his daughter on that segment. I like that it's a run walk deal. So people who may not feel that they could run the whole way or even run at all can still participate. They're still welcome to participate and walk it out.
Yeah.
Right. Wear your LDCC shirt, you know, show your pride. We have a mission at LDCC to be out in the community and do these types of things.
And this is a great opportunity.
One of your own is an organizer, actually probably the main organizer of the whole thing. So, yeah, let's do it. Let's come on out and enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's a great morning.
Absolutely. Also, before we move on, I want to say that Roman McKinney is watching. Hey, Roman.
Hey, Roman.
And he said for the question of the day, I am staying out of this one too. LOL. We respect it. We respect it.
Yes.
Very quiet.
We respect everyone's position in that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so our next news story.
Yeah, so, you know, last week we talked about graduation because it was all things graduation last week. And we talked about, like, there was a list of, like, the 7 youngest people to ever graduate from higher education.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I saw a story, you know, I get the diverse education, which focuses on higher ed only, diverse education newsletter. And one of the stories this morning was a young woman, 17 years old, who received her, graduates with a doctoral degree.
Wow.
And Cameron, you have a picture of her. Her name is Dr. Dorothy Jean Tillman.
Yep.
Amazing.
She defended her dissertation at 17.
Wow.
She completed an online doctoral program in integrated behavioral health from Arizona State University's College of Health Solutions back in December. And then this spring, she participated in the commencement ceremonies.
Wow.
Now, she holds a bachelor's degree in psychology from the College of Lake County, which is in Illinois, college, and a master's in environmental science
Cool.
from Unity College in Maine.
That's quite an eclectic grouping
Yeah.
of degrees. Wow.
But check this out. She inspired the Dorothy Genius STEAM Leadership Institute and Dorothy
I like
Genius
it.
STEAM Labs in Chicago and West Cape Town, South Africa.
Wow.
Yeah, so she creates STEM books for children
That is so
and
cool.
delivers talks to motivate young people to be proactive regarding environmental sustainability. So she says she plans to continue that. I think that it's really cool that she's focused on motivating and inspiring young people in STEM.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
Fantastic.
they'll respect and hear that from someone who they feel is closer to their age. So she will serve and has served as an inspiration to
Yeah.
many. So that was pretty cool.
Y'all,
I
I
was
don't.
just stuck on the whole doctor thing at 17.
At 17.
I have a few decades on that young lady, and, and I'm just getting started. So kudos, because when I was 17, I was not thinking about that at
Right.
all, much less even near completing it. I was just trying to get out of high school at that point.
Listen, I'm telling you. I mean, people are doing amazing things, and you know, I want to pause here for a minute to say, you know, there are people doing extraordinary things in our you know, from our perspective across the world, and I have to disclaim that statement with this: everyone has their own unique giftings and abilities, and the nest that we have makes that thing ours. And so what may look incredible to other people of some things that we do, we're just doing us. We're just being who we are.
That's right.
Because that's the way we're gifted and wired. And so I wouldn't want anyone watching this show or anything else and thinking, oh wow, you know, because we do that to
What
people.
am I doing? Yeah.
Oh wow, you know, they are really. No, but you are really. You are really. We have our own things, and some people's things are put on broader stages and platforms, while other people's things are not. I mean, you may be impactful to those immediately around you, you know, or you could impact people across the world. It really doesn't matter. What matters is that we're all doing our thing, making the impact that we can to whomever we can. So, kudos to Dr. Dorothy Jean Tillman for doing her thing.
Absolutely.
Because that is her thing. All right, so let me ask you all this. This is another question, but it's leading somewhere.
We're going to take a lot of steps to get there, I'm wondering.
If you could choose, Roman, you're safe to answer this question, and so are you, Matt. If you could choose your work conditions as far as being remote, being on site, or hybrid, what would you choose?
Hybrid. Because
Advantages and disadvantages.
there are the advantages and disadvantages of both, and I think a healthy mix of both would be really good for me because, you know, being in the office is really important. You want to get to know the people that you're working with. You want to have those in-person interactions because over Zoom is just not good enough sometimes, you know. But also, it's nice to spend more time in the place that you live, you know, because your home is like your safe house, and it's just nice to be there too. So I think if I got specific with it, I'd probably do 2 days at home, 3 days at work.
You hear that, Darian? She's making the request live on the show.
Look,
It's not up to her.
Look, if I could, I would grant it. I mean, because I so agree with that. I think that you have to maintain, I think it's important to be present some
Right.
to maintain some connectivity with your environment, because I mean that's what helps everyone feel a part of each other's lives, each other's work,
Yeah.
and that provides a layer of fulfillment
And it helps
to
you
what
care
you do.
more.
Plus, you learn about, you know, you're continually learning about, you know, different aspects of the organization when you're encountering people from other parts of the organization.
Right.
But to have the flexibility to work from home without penalty at the same time it also provides a layer of personal fulfillment to you, because I mean, how great is it to get up and work, and at least from the waist down you can be in your jammies
Right.
and slippers.
Or even spend time with your spouse, have more time to spend with, or your children.
You can eat breakfast, with your people, or at lunch. And I mean, it's a personal thing, but it does add a layer of fulfillment in your role at that specific organization.
Right.
And it also cultivates, because it cultivates fulfillment, your loyalty to that organization is also fortified, because you look at that as an advantage and a perk of being associated,
Absolutely.
as far as employment goes with this place. And so means you'd be less likely to consider movement
because
you're
it's
happy
for retention, and
exactly.
and it's a brag to be like, yeah, I get to work from home,
Yeah.
2 days out of the week. It's fantastic. I get to save on gas for the commute. Even little things like that are just such a bonus.
For
What about
sure.
you, Ryan, if you could pick?
Well,
What
I
would you
think
think?
there's definitely something to be said about flexibility. I think obviously it's going to depend on the job. It's going to depend on what your role and if your position can afford that type of flexibility. I
Right,
think it's a great thought. Excuse me. I think it's a great way to retain, like you guys were talking about, your employees. And then it also shows that you trust them. But again, I think there's always going to be a caveat as to what is my role, and can I fulfill the responsibilities of my role remotely.
Right.
I think
right.
that's always
That's
going
the
to come into
question.
play.
Yeah.
So I whether it's left up to the individual supervisors to make the call for their employees, or whether it's in policy, I think there's been studies that have shown that corporations that give unlimited vacation days end up
I have seen
end up
that, honey.
end
let
up
me
having
tell
their
you.
employees take less
Really?
vacation
Yeah.
because then there's the fear of missing out.
That is so
Yeah.
interesting.
So-
And I also want to shout out Julie real quick. She just said in the chat, in person, I love seeing everyone and seeing the students. My cats would drive me crazy at home.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you can't assume people's position on things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody's in a different spot.
Because here's what I saw an article about that too, and so there's like you hear people these work terms, quiet quitting and other stuff. Well, there's a new term that has evolved called hot desking.
Oh, I haven't even heard of this.
I think I know what this is.
Hot desking. So this is when you have hybrid workers who come in, but they don't really have a permanent office, and so they're just set up in these community
Communal
spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the ones who are there, the workers who are there all the time, kind of feel like, okay, this feels intrusive,
Right.
because they're here, and it feels like it's out of order, like things are out of order. And then for people who come in, who occupy these communal areas, can also feel a lack of connectivity because they don't have a space where they're landing, where they can
That's
call
their
their own.
own.
They're not coming into their own office.
And they're not feeling that own sense of ownership that, you want to feel in a job, like you're a part of it.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. There, of course, there are advantages and disadvantages to anything.
Right.
And but I hadn't thought about, the hot desking.
Yeah.
That is really interesting.
And I think we're also at various stages in our careers, we may feel differently about this topic.
Exactly.
I know that there was a time when, I was like, for a while I was like, man, I wish I could get more flexibility. And now I'm not as concerned with it. I mean, it's nice to be able to, have it when you can, but I feel like more times than not, I need to report in only because on most days, it helps me to frame my day and focus myself to the task at hand. I like my office. It's a nice little space, you know. So I'm, you know, it's sort of like when I go to work, I do work. When I go home, sometimes I'm still doing work too. I'm not going to say that I don't, but I try to separate the two as well. So it's not, again, it's not to say that, you know, you can't, I can't wake up. There's not days when I wake up and I'm thinking, man, I just want to stay in my PJs because I really want to do some deep thinking and have no interruption and type out this report. I mean, there's a space for that for sure.
Right.
But I think in my current state right now, where I'm at in my career, I'm okay with making the drive. But I will say that there were plenty of times when I was like, I really wish I could just do this somewhere else. So,
Yeah.
but I'm just in a different spot now.
I wonder if that I wonder if the response to that leans more towards the generation in which you were born, because you know so I can easily see and or either at what stage you are in your career, because I mean, when you said that, I thought, you know, there are times that I wish I could go home and be home and leave work at work, but I've never had that type of job because this is what I've done. And so, and there, you're always connected to your job. Even on vacation, you're still connected.
Because you buy the
to work.
Wi-Fi on the cruise, right? Is that what you do?
Yeah, we did. My husband and I both, you know. But this time, I really did disconnect more this time than I have at other times. So that was good, and it did feel good not to feel compelled.
Was I supposed to put this graphic up? Were we getting somewhere with this graphic? I'm sorry. I'm just going to ask that online.
That's coming up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting to that.
We're segueing right now.
Yeah. So I mean, I think generationally, that may have some impact as to how people may feel about that. You know, because the boomers and then my generation.
That was Gen X, right? Boomers, Gen X.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of we're that kind of slave horse when it comes the workhorse when it comes to work. We're in there and we're connected, and I think that we probably would lean more towards being present at work. But then I also see value, and I think because we went through COVID, I do see that my job can be done from home. It wouldn't be good for me to be home every day.
Right.
That wouldn't work for our work.
Exactly.
We would have to be here. But as you said, if you had to line it out 2 days a week, I think we could work from home without a problem and not miss a beat. And then if something happened on the 2 days that we said that we would be at home, we would come in to take care of the thing.
Absolutely.
But even then, you kind of view it differently. You're going in to do the thing, and then you're free to go back home.
Right.
And it's just psychologically, it feels free. So, like I said, I think generationally that may have some leanings on how we view that. Here's another thing. We talked about hot desking earlier, as a new term. So Zoomers.
Okay.
That was new to me. Zoomers. Gen Z.
Really?
Gen Z. Zoomers.
They've been saying Zoomer for a little while.
Well,
now.
look, I am just catching up.
I
But
love it.
so is Generation Z, the Zoomers. There is not very many of them that have entered the workforce, but we need to look ahead, because just like when we were making room for millennials, Ryan.
I'm not. That's why I argue that. Because I had a person tell me, "Oh, were you looking my way with that?"
I think he.
Well,
you might be a millennial.
See, 80 is that dividing line of X, and then the following
So
generation.
you're a hybrid.
So that's why.
Well, I was saying
Gen
while
X
we
millennial
were, including you with me,
Okay, good.
while we were making room, while we had to consider how we were going to make room for millennials coming into the workplace and figuring out how to work with millennials.
I should let you finish.
Now we are having to consider, well, what does the grounds look like now for work when we're making room for Gen Zers, the Zoomers, because they're even more different than the millennials. You know, and you know that whole when the millennials started entering the workplace, Cameron, you know, that was a whole discussion. It was like the workforce was like paralyzed for a while, y'all. It was so
I
many
was
discussions.
in middle school, but I remember the headlines, and it was all millennials this, millennials that, avocado
Yes.
toast. I mean, it was a huge deal.
We need to
A
put up,
huge
like,
deal.
the graphic that says, you know, what is the official dividing line between all the generations, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, so it's this article that I was looking at this morning said Gen Zers encompass around 2.56 billion people worldwide. And by 2030, which is not long from now, y'all,
Yeah, that's true.
that's 6 years from now, they will make up around 30% of the global workforce.
Ooh.
So they'll account for about 1/3 of the whole population. So Gen Zers were born between 1996 and 2012. Y'all, they were 1 year old when the google.com domain name was registered. They were 1 year old. I mean, when you look at it in those terms, it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this article outlines some things that we need to know about Gen Zers and how we need to, you know, consider them in the workspace. And from what I was reading, you know, about, you know, how they grew up in this total, you know, social media time frame, but so did millennials. I mean, you all grew up, you know, with that too. And for them, it said they won't remember a time when that was not, you know, when the whole digital social media world was not a thing.
Right.
But that's also true with millennials. And this article also pointed to that Gen Zers really want to be somewhere where people believe in the mission of a company, and that their superiors, their supervisors, all of the people in authority are true to to who they are.
It's about
But I'm like,
accountability now.
I mean, we kind of all want that, you know, really.
Right.
but
I
Gen
think
Zers are putting their money where their mouth is.
they are holding people more
Because
accountable, and they're
even-
not afraid to say, cash your chips in, let me see where you're standing.
Absolutely.
Whereas people in our generation and the boomers, we've just kind of accepted, hey, it is what it is. I'm going to go to work, you know, make my money, pay my mortgage off, and,
Right.
you know, and look towards retirement. We're a lot less vocal and accepting. We're more accepting and less vocal than the millennials and the Zoomers. What's your thought on that?
I mean, yeah, it's completely true. You know, even with like environmentalism, you know, when it comes to green purchasing and everything, Zoomers, Gen Zers will, you know, they'll look up, they'll do the research before they buy. A lot of times from a company, you know, where is this coming from? Where is it getting made? Is it environmentally sound?
Is it sustainable?
Is it sustainable? You know, those things are something even I think about, and, you know, I'm not necessarily like Mrs. Green over here, but, you know, even I think about, like, where am I buying from, and is it ethical? You know, and so, when it comes to consumerism, that's the case. And then, you know, also it's like you want to know that you're working for something that, and I think it comes from cancellation culture, y'all, because people put other people on blast nowadays.
And see, that was not even a thing when we were growing up.
not
I mean,
even a
it
thing.
wasn't a thing. It's like you had to literally call people. Well, I was about to say one at a time, but, you know, we did get three-way.
After a
in
while,
our-
yeah.
And now,
we could call 2 people at a time, and then they can call somebody. Yeah.
and you know, now it's like people can be put on blast. Like even people who maybe don't have a huge platform online can have a huge platform if they're calling somebody out. Anything can go viral. You know, I mean, somebody can spill the beans on this person or that person in a company and be like, don't buy from there. You know, don't work for these people.
And they can start
it
a whole
can go.
movement.
You look at Starbucks. I mean, people are starting to not want to work at Starbucks anymore because of how they treat their workers and the pay, you know, that kind of thing.
Y'all, I'm sorry, I still go to Starbucks.
People still do, but it you know, it has declined because of what people
It really
talk about
did decline,
online.
and their shares declined.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that was the whole thing. Yeah, that
Which makes
really
the line
did.
shorter, which makes it easier to make that purchase now.
Yeah,
Hello.
I think
Hello.
I think Gen Zers are more empowered to do these things because of the digital spaces that they grew up with. Do I think it's always a good thing? Not necessarily, because, you know, when it comes to job, like, we got to still have workers in a workforce. And whenever standards are so high, you know, it's difficult. It's going to be difficult to fill those positions. And I think we're already in a labor shortage in literally every industry.
In a lot of areas, we really are.
Except for YouTubers and TikTokers. We got plenty of those.
So this article says Zoomers want to feel that they share values with their colleagues and that they are connected to a company mission they respect. And while previous generations also share that, this article weighs in and says that Zoomers really place more emphasis on those areas. And then, you know, a benefit of the Zoomers, though, is because they've grown up in this era, they're more technologically savvy. And so if we're open, you know, as boomers and as Gen Xers, we really can learn some things. And it really means us being open to be moved out of our comfort zone and learning, you know, or being open to, okay, evaluating, is this more efficient?
Exactly. And
because they're just versed in that. I mean, it's what they know. It's all that they know.
And it's because they, you know, it's not necessarily about shortcuts, but it's just like, how can I get this done the quickest way possible? And I think also, like, you know, my generation has a lot to learn from older generations still in the workforce too.
For sure.
About, you know, social cues, soft skills, those kind of things, because that is where we lack, because growing up in the digital space, you know, human to human interaction, we're not as good at that, you know. And so I think there's a lot to learn there.
And everything does not have to be published and recorded.
Exactly.
You know, in digital space, I mean, you know, pick up the phone and say something sometimes. I mean, it doesn't have to be put on blast across some form of media, or I mean, even in an email or text message. I mean, stuff does come back. I mean, we should all know that. I don't care what generation you were born in. We should all know that things do come back and bite you.
Have y'all ever heard of the term chronically online?
No.
And go touch grass?
Go touch grass.
So that's what some people are chronically online,
yes.
which is like that is their world, and that's all they understand. And sometimes you don't even know what they're saying to you, because it's all like meme coded, and like you have to have seen this tweet to understand this reference. And that, you know, we just like those people, you like go tell to touch grass, because they need to go outside and look at something in reality.
Right. I mean, and that's really true. There needs to be a balance, and it's kind of scary. It was scary to me when I saw an article about or news story about the creation of these emotional support bots.
That's scary.
Or friends, you know, it's like, no,
I
do not want my grandkids, you know, chummying up to a robot and calling it their friend. I mean, I had concerns when my grandson wanted to name a stick. It's like, you've got to understand, this is not thing, you know, and y'all don't blast me for talking creativity. I mean, because he can be creative plenty, but I mean, I think that, you know, we have to help keep people grounded in reality, instead of, you know, forming these alternate realities, in which, like you said, the chronically online, you know, that's a whole other world.
It's getting dystopian out here.
It feels like the Matrix.
Yeah.
It does feel like the Matrix.
Very dystopian. Yeah, very that.
So just, I'm going to run through these tips real quick about, you know, managing Gen Zers in the workplace.
I'm just happy that Cameron is our resident Gen Z expert.
No,
I'm not an expert.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm Gen Z.
You are Gen Z?
I was born in 2001.
You know what? It was funny because, like, my daughter and my husband was like, Cameron is only, and I was like, yeah, and I was like, I never would have guessed. I said, I know, you know, she's an old person in a young person's body. I mean, she really does. She does. That's a great space to be. So choose the correct medium and the correct tone in which to communicate.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of this is reminding me of what was his name? Mark Perna's talk.
Oh yeah.
A lot of this is coming back to me from his talk. He was very excellent in this. So look up his stuff, y'all.
Yes. Support a mobile workforce.
Okay.
they don't, I guess, don't want to always be in. Improve and celebrate company culture. I think I'm in on that one, and I am not a Zier. On-demand information and connectivity. That kind of goes without saying.
Yep.
Don't want to unplug, apparently.
It's also
And-
the flow of information too is important. Transparency and knowing what's going on.
Yep. And provide meaningful interactions. Don't BS them.
Oh yeah. The BS radar it's gotten. I feel like lately it's been very. People are kind of being more called out for being like fake or whatever, and it's you can tell when someone's being fake with you, and it kind of ruins your interaction with that person. It's like, just be real with me. Like, even if you're not this sunshiny happy person, it's like, just be you. You know?
At least they know where you stand.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
That's
I
an
think
interesting article.
Like I said, there are there are advantages and disadvantages of every generation. I think that we just have to be open.
Yeah.
To one another in our spaces to help to take what's good, to shape what's not, so that we can have healthy work cultures, healthy home cultures, so that we can have healthy community cultures.
Yeah. 100%.
So I think that's where that falls in that. All right. So that sums up news, y'all.
Yes, and we have a bunch of In Case You Missed It from the past 2 weeks, because we didn't do it last episode.
Right.
So let us dive into
All
it.
right.
So we're going in chronological order here. I think, chronological order. So first of all, Instrumentation Entergy Tour. Mr. Mark Ketchell wrote up a whole thing about it. It's on our news section at ladelta.edu. Please go read it, y'all, because it sounds like they had a great educational time being able to tour these facilities and see the things that they were working on in the instrumentation lab here in real life, in an actual facility where they could work. So, and making those meaningful connections. We just love to see it.
See, that's meaningful stuff right there, because, for anyone standing on the fence about whether or not they really wanted to follow this road out, being in an environment where you're seeing the job done helps clarify what the job calls for.
Absolutely.
And then you can personally assess whether or not this is truly what you want to do.
Yes, and I just love that, his students got out there, just out and, being able to see that. And I also want to shout out Entergy, because the main Entergy account, because it's such a huge corporation, they responded to our tweet, because I tagged them, and they ended up responding, and they said,
Thank you,
and I
Entergy.
quote, that emoji.
Wait.
Oh, that is awesome.
right.
That's
That's
it right there.
Yes. So, thank you, Energy, for giving us a little shout out for our
Yes.
students being there. I thought that was really cool. Speaking of our people out in the community, we also have Whitney Smith from both Lake Providence and Tallulah. She was an award announcer at the Louisiana State Cotillion Awards.
Go, Whitney.
Yes.
Way to represent.
Representing LDCC in the best way by giving recognition to local teachers. So we thought that was so cool, and definitely wanted to give her that recognition for sure.
Oh, right.
And then we also had our Lift Academy graduates, and I have 2 slides on this one so we could include all the graduates. But these were what is it called? Leading in faculty teaching, leadership in faculty teaching. Sounds right to Ryan. Those were under the leadership of Dean Frank Boone, and congratulations to him, and just thank you for leading up this awesome program to help faculty get some professional development.
That was something Frank was very passionate about. He had been introduced to it at a conference or somewhere, and when he heard about it, he immediately saw application for it here, and kudos to him for taking what he heard somewhere else, and bringing it back home and actually implementing it and seeing it through.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of times we go to conference, we hear a lot of good ideas, and then 10 is well.
Yeah.
I meant to do it.
Intent is intent, right?
Yeah, intent is intent, but Frank actually did it. And so, yeah, kudos to you, Frank.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember talking to him
awesome.
about it a few times, and he was always on fire, always ready to, just make faculty better, and then in turn make the outcomes and our students better as well. So, yeah, congratulations to the entirety of the graduating class, because I know it was a lot of hard work. I had quite a few faculty who took it, who took up the challenge and told me how challenging it really was. You know, how many hours of labor they put in to do that work on top of the work that they were, had to do for the LDCC in general. So, yeah, lots of kudos to go around. Yep.
Absolutely. Congratulations to y'all for that dedication and hard work. And they have a huge certificate with a beautiful frame they
it
can
was
put on their
wonderful.
wall. And that's just such a point of pride, I know, for them too. And something they can take with them, you know.
Well, and it also says that LDCC valued them enough to invest in them, and that always means something.
Absolutely. Congratulations, y'all, Lift Academy graduates. I hope that he does it again and we have a new round of faculty members. Our next, in case you missed it, was something else that was just kudos. Louisiana Department of Education Early Childhood Performance Profiles, our very own LA Delta Children's Center got an excellent rating. And that's the plaque that you can see on the screen. Yeah. Congratulations to Sandy and her team.
Yes, Sandy works extremely hard to make sure that whatever they do in that center is top quality, top notch. She invests in her people. She's down there quite often making sure that everything's running properly.
Awesome.
She's, in communication with parents, and it's a great thing. And we are fortunate to have that center, that children's center here on our campus. It's a benefit to our students, our faculty, our staff, and it can't be understated. So congratulations for this award, and I'm sure that's one of many more to come in the future.
Absolutely. Congratulations. That is such a great program we have here too. And so excited to spotlight them because they deserve all the attention. So say congratulations to them if you see them around here. We also had our B-Tech conference.
Hey, look out.
And
2 weeks ago.
I heard Cameron was phenomenal.
Yes. So she might not have made any of these pictures, but she definitely rocked the house, if I can say so myself.
Well,
for a little bit that time that I was in there, as I was going back and forth between different rooms. But we actually have yours recorded, believe it or not. So I'll let you look at it first and make whatever edits you want to make, and then maybe we can release it, because it's important stuff to know. What is the difference between content and advertising? How do you interface properly with the PR and marketing arm of our wonderful college? I mean, all these things were things that everyone needs to know, not just the folks that were there.
How can people access that? Because that is really good information.
I have to send it. I'm just going to send it. It's on Google Drive somewhere, because the way I recorded it was not in Teams. But then I'll just send it to y'all, and then y'all can disseminate it.
If you weren't able to make it, don't worry about it. We're going to have that link for you whenever Ryan feels that
here we go.
He can get around to serving us people.
Oh my gosh. And I also wanted to see Misty. I have another slide of pictures here, but I also wanted to see Misty and Nishaw's presentation, because I heard they did a fantastic job.
Was theirs recorded?
No, it was our first time recording. I was only recording in one, or actually presenting, I guess, to those that couldn't make it in one room. So the theater room, we didn't do any recordings or any streaming. Really, the idea behind it was we knew that it was a day where everybody was supposed to be on campus for the Grill and Chill, and there were only a couple people that we knew couldn't be here for real, out ill or something like that.
Right.
And so we put it out there for those folks. But no, the short answer is no. And my intention with this is to continue to maybe shy away from pushing it out, live, so that more and more people can be present, because we usually have these conferences on days where people are supposed to be here for Christmas party or some kind of social gathering.
Right.
And so that's why we're probably going to stay away from it. But we did manage to capture Cameron's, and arguably, yours was one that is just something that everybody needs to know. And there was a lot of things that people need to know in the conference, but I'm not upset that we got yours for sure. There's definitely a good thing there. And speaking of Misty and Nasha, I believe that they're going to take their show on the road, and they'll be presenting at LCTCS conference.
Oh, fantastic!
The networking.
And so what was theirs?
The network. I don't have the. It's about networking, but it was really. I think all of y'all kind of collaborated on that idea, even though you didn't present it. But
I mean, we talked about it, and it was just such a because Misty she lives it, right? I mean, she's just so fantastic at making connections, going out in the community, talking to anybody, whether they're related to the field or not, and having those community partners. And I know as like those program runners, it's important for them to have industry partners because we have to know what they want and everything. And so she just lives it. And I'm so thrilled that she was able to bring that idea to life with Nishal, because I feel like it's important for everybody to kind of know how this works, how it works through the community, and how they can better, serve their industry partners and community partners by listening to them and understanding them. So I'm excited. LCTCS conference, if they're presenting, I definitely want to be
awesome.
there.
Yeah, definitely want to be there.
I pulled
for
it.
that.
It was called the Networking Edge: Strategies for Standing Out and Connecting In. So
awesome.
very creative.
Yeah.
Very interactive session, and so all the sessions were great, and I'm just appreciative of everybody that took part in it, both the folks that came and learned something and those that presented as well. Our intent is to keep allowing this platform to be, so that more and more can participate and have their stories and voices heard.
Absolutely.
Because everybody's got something to contribute.
And shout out to Ryan for his presentation too. What the most important decision you can make, is really just leading yourself. And that was such an important message. Because maybe you're not if you're listening to the presentation, you're not like a supervisor, or you're not, a leader by name, but you're still waking up every day and you have to lead yourself. And that's such an important, thing to understand about yourself. So kudos, because it was a fun presentation.
I definitely am having to do that every day. Wake up every day thinking, okay, how am I going to be the best me, and then consequently, how can I share that with everybody else as well?
So, question.
Yes.
Can we expect a presence at convocation?
A presence at convocation? How about this? We'll talk to Ed or whoever's over the committee that does all that.
As a representative of the Professional Development Committee,
I
am officially asking
oh my God,
if there is a consideration for a return of the B-Tech Professional Development training.
You want all of it? I mean, like the whole shebang.
At convocation, I think there
whatever.
should be a takeover.
I think
we can make that happen. I mean, we talked about Lyft. Karen Toller and Deborah Mooring talked about Lyft and faculty evaluation. So that would be on a faculty track. How you can do more with your classes, both online and face to face. JJ Kwasniak and Tracy Clark, they presented on accessibility.
Yeah, they're
in Canvas, and I mean. Another pretty much everything everything could stand up at convocation as of session of value for
cool
sure.
Beans. All right, Ed. You heard it.
It's balls in your court.
Yep, you heard it. All right. What else we got?
We also had on the same day Grill and Chill, which was
Yay.
so fun. We had karaoke, we had games, we had such a great turnout, hula hoops, as you can see here, some hula hooping going on, and some fun karaoke. Here you can see Jason Rogers trying to get Maya Romero to sing. She did not sing, but it was so funny.
Yeah, the karaoke bit is nice because, those that just want to get out there and have a good time, no pressure. I mean, people feel pressure, to be up there performing, but we all know it's just goofy and just an excuse to have fun.
Yeah.
And it shows your personality too. Like, what songs do you like, and how you would perform if you could be that rock star or that famous, R&B singer or something. How would you play that role? And so I think it was a really good time. Did you sing? I heard you sang too. Yeah.
I did a little bit. I think I sang 1 or 2 solos and then 1 duet with Melissa Lacoste. We did.
Oh, so
girls just want to have fun.
Hey,
so.
what a great song. I like that a lot. So,
it was so fun.
It's always a good time. Whenever we can all get together as a college, keeping in with the idea of building community.
Yes.
And I think let's keep doing it.
And letting
That looks
loose, you
fun.
know, having a rest after a long semester, I think is so important. And
Sometimes the semesters are so long, you're too tired to party, though. Isn't that something? 'Cause it's like,
especially if you have a
Too poop
BTEC
to
mini
party.
conference before you're running, it's like, oh my
good
gosh.
stuff.
That's the whole thing. Too poop to party.
Yep, too poop to party. But yeah, it was definitely fun, and really a pretty day, and the karaoke was super fun. So getting into graduation, adult ed graduation was on the
Yes.
13th. I got I love these pictures that I got of these students who were just like pure celebration at the graduation, you know, just pure emotion. And adult ed graduation is so awesome. Their speaker was an LDCC alumni, and she was such an inspiration. She came from the adult ed program and now I think she's currently at LDCC and then planning to transition to ULM. So her speech was very inspiring and just a beautiful ceremony.
And the best examples are those that, like, I was you at one point.
Yeah.
And now look at
Yes.
me, and I'm continuing to grow. And it's all thanks to this program.
Yep, it was so
Yeah.
perfect.
It's also a reminder too that, you know, people just don't get to a place and they're just there. I mean, you know, they took some steps
Right,
towards
came
that.
from somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's effort, for sure.
it's a journey.
Absolutely. And also shout out to Antonio Hearn for being their keynote speaker too. He's a campus director at Bastrop, and he has a great story too he was able to share to inspire the students with. So
Awesome.
kudos to him too for doing that.
Yes.
And kudos to Kelsey for, you know, a fantastic ceremony, so many graduates. The more graduates we can get out of this program, the better. So
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
And then we had our college graduation with our keynote speaker, David Payne.
Oh, look at David.
He was so
Mr.
proud that
SGA,
day.
yeah.
He walked in like a celebrity, y'all. He had his shades on, and he was like, "I don't even have my hat on, Cameron. Don't take my picture." He was so funny.
Standing with the lady in red, Miss Carla Mercy.
Yes, yep, and Chris Sanchio Jackson.
Yes. Division chair for liberal arts.
And David did such a great job on his speech, and I liked it because it was short and sweet. You know, he
Yeah.
made his points so well, and you know, kept it pretty brief because he has so much star quality. You know, he can just kind of own the moment, and he did.
Yeah.
Congratulations, to all of our
That had to
graduates.
have been the quickest graduation on record, I think. Though.
Yes.
I tell you what, the parents were hyped in the stands.
They
Yeah.
were. It was a beautiful moment. And I want to go on record and shout out Miss Hannah Ron for getting this thing organized, getting it so smooth. I heard from several people this was the best graduation that we've ever
It
had.
was really smooth.
Well,
And I know her hand played a whole big part, and Melissa Lacasse also doing, you know, everything that she always does for decor. I mean,
Yes.
them working together,
It was awesome.
beautiful ceremony.
Lots of hours put in. When we
Yes.
weren't thinking about graduation, they were thinking about graduation. And so yes, shout outs to both of them for all that they did. Lots of hours.
Yes, thank y'all so much. And it was so worth it because hearing those parents in the stands, seeing those families' proud moments. I mean, you know, when the ceremony is going smoothly, they don't have to think about anything else except for how proud they are of their graduates. And that was just so special to me, y'all. I was
Yeah.
like bringing a tear to my eye.
Yeah. You know, and when things go well, you know, sometimes you don't really hear it.
Right.
Versus when things go wrong, it seems
always
like
hear it.
the messaging is like amplified.
Right.
And so, yeah, we really want to make sure that those responsible for pulling this off really feel appreciated.
Yes, please do. And I mean, definitely let's thank them if we see them, and you know, remember that. And next graduation ceremony, now that we have this foundation of, you know, how it goes, the script and everything, I think it's going to be even better. So
Shout out to the volunteers.
And
Shout out, y'all.
I'm happy to see some barber styling students in this picture. That's Rivers and Gretchen on the right-hand side. So yeah, definitely happy that they made the cut. Thank you, Cameron, for putting them in.
They're so well photographed. They were also, I also want to shout out Maya real quick. Y'all, we always think we're going to go a short episode and then we never do. But
yeah. Oh my gosh.
it's just not who we are, I guess. But Maya, I want to shout out Maya because I grabbed her to do interviews with graduates on the day of graduation. She did fantastic. It was a total last minute thing, and she was so good, with the graduates and doing a little mic interview with them. So thank you so much, Maya. That was so great, and it got a ton of likes and views and all that good stuff. So next, we also, and Ryan can speak to this, but we have the Skills Region 8 Annual Mini Summit.
Oh, goodness.
I stalked y'all on Facebook for this one.
Look, see that picture on the screen, y'all, is the reason why we're having to put down flower petals in the studio whenever Ryan walks in. I mean, it's that.
Prince
and
Ryan, right?
if it wasn't the fact that he had gone to John Maxwell and gotten certified, and then we have this to boot. So it's like, and then he thinks he can come in late, and it's like
strolling
regular normal time. We're moving broadcast time to accommodate our star.
Yeah, he's the celebrity guest now, I guess.
He changed his last name from Pierce to Star because that's his Hollywood name.
Soon we're not going to even be able to afford him.
And it's with 2 R's.
Starer.
I'm taking this picture down. Y'all are killing me right now. Oh my gosh. Look, y'all, I have to thank my wardrobe and stylist person for all the help there.
To thank all the little people.
Cameron just left like no. Okay. So anyway.
Cameron, Ryan's thanking all the little people.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to thank all the little people.
So no, Skills, if y'all don't know, I'm going to post the graphic back up there. STEM Collective for Innovative Louisiana Stakeholders. It is, the mission of the group is to push STEM education all across Region 8. Its home base is at Louisiana Tech University, and but there are partners in every parish, and LDCC is one of those partners. And just what can we do, right? That's the question. What can we do? What can you do to make sure that these young minds are prepared for the jobs of the future? Well, one of the things you can do is support STEM initiatives all across the state, because the jobs of the future, as we're talking about Gen Z and millennials and all that, it's going to be digital. It's going to have some kind of digital platform or digital element to it.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be all digital. And of course, AI is here now and all that thing. So my role in speaking was just to talk for a minute about what LDCC has done and how other partners can give even more to the mission of Skills, besides just, Skills gives money for STEM programming at these different institutions, school systems, universities, etc. But how about we give back? And the challenge was, what can we do to further bolster this effort of Skills? And that was the whole purpose of my talk. And so they caught me looking like a politician there.
Shoulders all back in front of the state of Louisiana seal.
I'm telling you. So
when you running,
right? I don't think ever, but it was a good time. And then you see also the winners of the second time they awarded this Tosita Award, which is in honor. It's just basically I don't want to butcher I should have this memorized. Tanya Oak Smith, that's what it is. The Tanya Oak Smith Innovation and Leadership Award. Awesome. For those individuals who we went above and beyond that year to push out STEM initiatives. And so Dr. Ann Case Hanks from ULM is one of the recipients. She's on the right. And the other recipient's name is escaping me, but she, I believe, works at Neville High School. And they both did some amazing things in the area of STEM education and leadership, for that matter. And so that's what the Skills is all about. Again, if you ever want to have a part in it, if you want to feel like to be more connected, just talk to me. There's money for programming, summer programs.
Wow,
cool. Different things that we have to just put a proposal in. And if it's impacting K through 12 in an effort to get them into our doors and to help them see a future for themselves, that Skills is going to support that as much as they can.
Cameron, we may need to put our heads together to see what we can come up with out of our department.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's
Interesting.
STEM related, let's do it.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, we have a little bit of history
We
coming
do.
up next.
That sounds like such mad scientist music.
Ah, yes.
All right, a little bit of
what is a
history.
little
So,
bit of
and
history?
I let the internet. I was acting like a Gen Zer. I let
Oh,
the
my
internet do the
goodness.
work for me today. So check this out, y'all. On this day in history.
Here's a look at this day in history. May 20th.
In 1902, the United States ended its occupation of Cuba. On this day in 1927, aviator Charles Lindbergh took off from New York for Paris in a single-engine Spirit of St. Louis. It was the first solo nonstop flight across the Atlantic. It was 1993 when an estimated 93 million people tuned into the last episode of the television comedy Cheers. And on this day in 1873, Levi Strauss patented the first blue jeans. The dry goods wholesalers sold cloth to outfit laborers for the California Gold Rush. He was contacted by a tailor who made pants reinforced with metal rivets. The two struck a deal. Levi's name was soon immortalized on backsides around the world. And that's this day in history.
See, wasn't that much more interesting than me sitting and reading about stuff? I was part of that 93 million who tuned in for the last episode of Cheers.
Really?
Yes.
Oh
that
my
was such a great
gosh.
show. I watched Kirstie Alley in a movie last night. Look Who's Talking.
Oh, I know of that. Yeah, I remember that movie.
Yeah.
It's good
My my daughter kept saying, "I can't believe this was PG and they let that in and they did this." And I was like, "Yeah, I guess, different time." But but that and the Levi Strauss deal, because I remember when that was a big thing, getting your pair of Levi's. In high school, it was a whole look
Yeah.
fashioned around Levi's. So
There were a lot of looks in high school. Some of those looks need to stay where they are.
Yes,
jeans-
you are
Jeans
not
have
kidding.
stood the test of time, though.
Yep.
You are not kidding.
They have,
So let me tell you.
Let's do it.
See, I like that because that gets you ready. That gets you all situated for the tea. Let me tell you. So, y'all, we are going
I
to.
have water, not tea.
You have water. We are going to an abbreviated schedule for the summer. We're taking next week off and picking up the following week. So we are going to be bringing to you our summer series.
I really like this graphic.
Dang.
I
It is
love
nice.
it. It
Summery.
feels like I should be on that thing,
Exactly.
just floating.
In the pool.
Yeah, but the Morning Blend Summer Series will start not next Monday, but the following Monday. And we're going to bring to you summer topics. We're going to have all outside guests for this. We're going to be talking about vacation spots on a budget, because we need stuff on a budget.
Yep.
I don't know. I tend to think your budget is unlimited, Darian. All the trips you've been on.
My kids seem to think that too, and my grandkids are adopting that mentality as well. But no, it is definitely not limitless. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about vacations on a budget, maybe some summer dishes, all things summer. And I tell you what, y'all, every week isn't etched in stone. In fact, we're gonna be launching every other week. But every podcast has not been etched in stone. So if you have some summertime ideas that you want us to investigate, shoot us an email and let us know. You can shoot that to pr@ladelta.edu and we'll check it out and investigate it. I know probably not this. Well, I probably won't be able to wait that long because you all need to know what's happening in the way of summer camps. And so I'll probably push that out in week at a glance. But things like that. Tell us what you want to know, and we'll check it out for you.
Absolutely. And that is it for our Let Me Tell You. And now Miss Darian is going to play us out with some Monday morning motivation.
All right.
The 3 M's.
Oh, that is
Yes.
so funny. Be good Monday. Be good.
Simple. I like it.
You know, a lot of times we get so caught up in looking good. And I'm not just talking
Hold on now.
physical.
Get my hair
I'm
right.
not just talking I'm not talking about our physical appearance, but other people's perceptions.
Right.
We get so caught up and worried
Reputation.
about how we're looking to other people. We want to look good to other people when we really
That's a good look. I like that look.
The
when
light's
we-
getting bright.
No, this is the real superstar over here.
when we really should be concerned with being good. Because if we're concerned with being good, automatically you're less concerned with looking good.
Because you will look
Because your
good.
conscience is clear.
Yeah.
It's not cluttered. Sometimes we have to declutter. It's a good time to clean.
You're exactly
Declutter.
right. Because, I feel like there was, when I was younger, a time in my life in high school, where I'd try to get away with stuff because I wanted to look good and have the reputation of like, okay, I could handle this. And, I would like stay up all night to finish something or maybe tell a fib here and there, like, oh, whatever. But it's like I had to I was like, if I'm just always doing good, I don't have to worry about trying to make myself look good. I don't have to like, try and lie or whatever, and then it teaches you humility too, because when you
Yes.
didn't do good, it's like, okay, I'm going to own up to that,
Yes, and we do. We have to own up to our crap. So this is Be Good Monday, and I tell you, one of the things that we can do to help ourselves, and that is that, and we all, if you just stop and pay attention to what you're feeling when you know you're getting ready to tell a lie, like, oh yeah, I was just getting ready to do that,
Yeah.
or that was right on my radar to do that, or oh, I did that.
Right. I already did it, and then you're like,
Stop in those moments really and pay attention to what you're feeling. And if you sometimes just a pause is just enough to check yourself.
right.
And then when you can, as soon as you can after that, ask yourself, why was that important? Why was it important that I look a certain way?
Because it's not for the other person, it's for you,
It's
right?
for you.
And you're really kind of not being fair to the people around you whenever
Exactly.
you're just doing that for you.
Because you're not giving them the gift of who you truly are. Because all of us are imperfect. As much as we may not want to be, we are all imperfect.
Even you, Ryan.
And the
Y'all
gift.
the ones blowing me up now. I just sit back and relax. I don't say anything. Go ahead, keep going.
We're not going to talk about the email that Ryan sent requiring us to put down flower petals and only green M&Ms in the room. No, that's not true. I'm messing with them.
This is how
I'm
rumors
messing
get
with them.
started.
So, yeah, it is. I wonder if it did. That'd be great. No, it wouldn't. No, but seriously, if you can stop long enough to think about why, a lot of times you can self-correct in that moment if you choose to, and change the course of your conversation. And like I said, you give people the gift of knowing the real you. And the best thing about a good relationship is you feel acceptance with who you really are, your true self, and you don't have to dress up
Yep.
for anyone. I mean, that's the blessing of a true relationship. You don't have to fix up, you don't have to dress it up, you don't have to make it over. You can feel the freedom of being exactly who you are.
You're talking about authenticity there, and I remember it makes me think of something that my grandfather told me a couple of times when I was young. And he would say something to the effect of, when you lie, typically you have to lie again to cover up that lie, which then makes another lie and makes another lie.
And you know why you have to tell all those lies? Because you forget what the lie was.
Yep.
The truth you don't forget, because it's what it was.
Yep. And
you
then
know.
and it also saves so much on stress, y'all, because stress, and I cannot stress this enough, stress kills. Like, it just
Yes.
causes so many health problems. And so
It
if you're
does.
constantly stressing about, oh, I need to keep up this charade or whatever with this person, that person, maybe this person knows something else and this person knows, different things, and you can't, it gets so deep. Like you said, you're, constantly telling a lie.
Convoluted.
Yes. And then at that point, it's like, why didn't I just own up to it at the beginning?
Do you think that a hybrid schedule would help you with that stress level, Cameron?
Maybe. I think so. I don't know. I think so. Because, and it also with the hybrid, and this is a little off topic, but you want to, it's also an accountability thing, too. With the hybrid thing, you want to make sure there's accountability systems in place while you're working at home. That's something we didn't really talk about is,
I think Ryan hit on it, about being able to be trustworthy.
Exactly. And it depends on the type of worker you are. If it's like you have to be in the office to focus on what you're doing, that's totally fine. Sometimes I'm in those moods too, where it's like, but sometimes I can work from home and do just as much as I could here, maybe even more. So
I apologize.
Self-aware.
Yeah,
That's okay. I'm bringing it back.
Yeah.
It's being self-aware and being true to being true to your own self about what you can handle and what you can't.
Exactly.
And in that same vein of being true to yourself, while we're saying or we're encouraging you to be good and less concerned about looking good, you also have to be willing to give that grace to other people. You judging, yourself based on how you're judging other people. So, you feel some kind of way because you know how you think about other folks. And so we just need to be kind.
Yeah.
Be kind.
Give grace.
Yep, give grace and work on ourselves, be willing to do the work. But also allow people to have their journey and do their work at their own pace, because we're working at our own pace. And so that's it, y'all. Be Good Monday.
Love it. Y'all, I think our for season 2, we're gonna work on making the show shorter. We're gonna have some new
say
stuff
that every
coming
week,
up.
y'all.
Impossible.
We do. We're like, okay, we're gonna run through this stuff. We're struggling, but we're gonna find a way, and we're gonna make it shorter for y'all.
You know what's amazing? We have some viewers that have been with us the whole time.
Oh, thanks.
That is amazing.
So thank you, because we know y'all have things to do. So
yeah. Thank y'all so much.
So next time we see you, it'll be the beach. It'll be the summer series.
Summer series.
It'll be the summer series.
From the beach. We'll be recording live and streaming live from the beach.
Oh, man, that would be awesome.
Fantastic. Oh, my gosh.
The truth is, we'll be right here in the studio. So we'll see you back right here.
Happy Monday, y'all.
Happy Monday. That was almost 2 hours.